59 years ago today, the city of Detroit, Michigan was nearly torn in half as the streets erupted in anger and violence. Again. You see, Detroit has a pretty long history when it comes to fighting for civil rights. Heck, our first territorial judge, Augustus Woodward, whom Woodward Ave is named after, ruled that slaves that lived in Michigan but fled to Canada would be free upon return. Granted, he was also a slaveholder. Regardless, Detroit was not only home to Rosa Parks, but was also the location that MLK gave his original I Had a Dream speech. And Malcolm X gave his message to the masses shortly thereafter. With this history in mind, it's safe to say that people's emotions could get a little revved up in the Motor City, which is probably why Detroit's had federal troops deployed on its streets 4 separate times. Anyways, the morning of July 23rd started basically like any other day. Despite literally being warned by the Fed to stay away from illegally operated bars in black neighborhoods, the cops just couldn't help themselves. Ironically enough, there was a blind pig, which is basically a speakeasy, that the cops had already raided 9 times since February the year before. But their 10th raid took a bit of a turn. Expecting to find a few regulars that they could easily arrest, instead, when they kicked down the door of this establishment, they found over 80 people celebrating the return home of some Vietnam War veterans. This is when things hit the fan, and exactly why the feds told the cops to chill. Blind pigs are one of the few spots that black Americans could go during segregation, and having cops constantly tearing it up was viewed as nothing short of harassment. So, that's when the people took to the streets, and that's when the violence started. For the remainder of the week, Detroit got pretty messed up. It got so bad that the National Guard was called in to help. Not that they really did. For example, there was word that there was potential sniper fire taking place at the Eldridge Motel. Well, after 3 people were killed and many others were injured, no weapons were found. That being said, it does kind of speak to the revolt altogether. And not just in mortality rate, which was significantly higher with black Americans, but because neither situation really made sense. There was no real rhyme or reason to them, other than hate. Hate from white people who wanted to maintain their social status, and the hate black people felt at the hands of this injustice. And that's your history today.